Well, guys, we have come to the end of our Freak the Mighty journey for fifth grade this year. We are in chapter 25, What Loretta Said. Freak has passed away, and we are going to find out what happens to Max. That was a year ago. I hid in the down under for days and days and kept the door closed, which is why I missed the funeral and the fair Gwen going away. Graham told me about it afterwards, how she couldn't stand to live in the house with Kevin gone. And who could blame her? Grim threatened to unscrew my bedroom door, but he never did. He just kept saying how I should come out for Graham's sake, and sometimes she'd come down and say I should come out for Grim's sake, and so on and so forth until I finally gave up and came out. I don't know if this makes sense, but for a long time I felt like I was a balloon, and somebody had let the air out of me. I didn't care if I ever got the air back, because what does it really matter if we're all going to die in the end? That's how down I was feeling and sorry for myself. Grim tried to tell me it wasn't how long you've got that matters. It's what you do with the time you have. But that sounded so lame and puny next to Freak dying that I just didn't want to hear it. This one day, it's just before school was supposed to start, I was moping around the backyard and thinking again how pointless and stupid everything was. And Grim comes over and he says, "You know what? Most of us go all the way through life and we never had a friend like Kevin. So maybe you should count yourself lucky." "Yeah, right," I say. "Suit yourself," he said. "Let's get one thing straight. You're going back to school if I have to hitch a rope to the bumper and drag you there. Is that clear?" So I went, and I hated every minute of it. I especially hated how people kept feeling sorry for me, as if it was me who died. Finally, one time, even Tony D came up to me, and he said it was a shame what happened, and I could see that he really meant it. And I just blew up and told him if he ever felt sorry for me again, I'd put him head first into the mill pond and pound him down into the mud like a fence post. So we're enemies again, which is the way that I like it. Not too long after that, this was winter by then, I saw Loretta Lee in the street. She still had on the neck brace, and you could smell booze on her breath. But what do you expect, a miracle just because she lost her head and acted good for a couple of minutes? Anyhow, Loretta sees me and she says, "Did you hear about Gwen? She's in California and she's got this new boyfriend. His name is Rick, and they're crazy about each other. Ain't that good news?" "I guess so." "Take it from me," she says, "it is. So what are you doing these days?" "Nothing." She gives me this long look, and she goes, "Nothing is a drag, kid. Think about it." I thought about it all the way home. And that night, I pulled out the pyramid box from under the bed and got the empty book out of the pyramid. And I'm thinking, who are you kidding, Maxwell Kane? You haven't got a brain. And that's the truth, the whole truth, the unvanquished truth is how Freak would say it. So I wrote the unvanquished truth stuff down and then kept going and going for months and months until it was spring again and the world was really and truly green all over. By the time we got here, which I guess should be the end, I'm feeling okay about remembering things. And now that I've written a book, who knows? I might even read a few. No big deal. So guys, I hope you found some strength from Max's story. Yes, he had a really hard life. Yes, he had to overcome a lot of problems with his parents and the way he felt about himself, but he really was just so much more resilient and able to move forward with his life than, we probably could have imagined at the beginning of the book. And I think he's a really good role model for kids and grown-ups alike. At the end of the hard copy of the book, they have an example of Freak's dictionary. You see some of the words that he loves the most and how he may have described them to Max in the story. So he has A, B, C words. I particularly like the word cretin. another name for Blade. The Down Under, A Land Far Away in Maxwell's Basement. So if you're ever interested in purchasing the book and you want to see the handwritten version of the dictionary at the end, this is what you can expect. It goes through a couple more sections, things that may have been used in the story, things like that. They give you information about the author at the end. He's been writing, Rodman Philbrick has been writing since the age of 16. He had published more than a dozen novels for adults before the publication of his first book for younger readers, Freak the Mighty. Since then, he won numerous awards and honors, including the prestigious California Young Reader Medal, the Arizona Young Readers Award, and the New York State Charlotte Award. It was my privilege to know an extraordinary young man who lived with a rare spinal condition that meant he would never be much more than 3 feet tall, Philbrick said. Despite severe medical problems and an uncertain future, my brilliant young friend faced life with unconquerable spirits. His remarkable personality inspired me to write an entirely fictional story called Freak the Mighty. Freak the Mighty has been translated into many languages and made into a feature film, The Mighty, starring Sharon Stone, with theme music by Sting. And he is still alive today. We can learn a lot about Rodman Philbrick. If you ever want to purchase the hard copy of the book, he has an interview at the end where he talks about the young man that inspired Freak the Mighty. And he has other books out. He has a sequel to Freak the Mighty called Max the Mighty. And he has other books available if you liked the writing of Freak the Mighty. And hopefully soon we'll get to watch Max the Mighty as a class. So on to the next book.